So I snugged it down good and tight, and as you can see, those two bolts and nuts would hold this sink on just fine all by itself. We haven't even put the other ones on yet. Okay, so now it's time for me to mark my spot that I'm gonna drill my holes into my hand washing sink, and I'm gonna base those holes off of the holes that I made here in the 3-compartment sink. So you can go underneath this thing and try and get that Sharpie in the hole, or you can just come up top, kind of pull it out a little bit, put it right where it needs to be, and mark it this way. That's easiest. So go ahead, make your little mark here with your Sharpie, and do the same thing in the back here. Just pull it out a little bit. Just kind of stretch it because you got it bolted down. Mark it, and there you have it. You now got your holes marked where you're going to do this with your Sharpie. And now it's just a matter of unbolting the sink, taking it off, and drilling your holes in here. Alright, so now we're unbolting those bolts that we're using to hold the sink on so that we could mark it. Get out our 7/16 inch wrench and remove the 2 bolts that are holding it on so that we can drill the hole for the other bolts and get this thing mounted to our 3-compartment sink. Alright, so we got out our Sharpie and we marked where we need to make our holes. So you get out your drill and you drill your 2 holes where you marked your Sharpie. It's super simple. You know, you're drilling through stainless steel, so it's going to take you a few minutes, but you know, do it right. Make sure that when you drill your hole, you got enough room here to make sure that you drill it a couple of times and you allow your drill to go up and down. And you do this so that you have no problem slipping your nuts and your bolts in here. Alright, that looks like it's going to fit just fine. We got plenty of room, plenty thick enough. Now we're going to attach it to the sink. So we've got the holes drilled here and we're ready to mount this sink. It's really simple. Just Now, when I put this on, I'm just going to put it on hand tight, actually kind of loose, not even tight, just enough to keep the nuts on the back of the bolts here, because I may have to wiggle this sink around a little bit when I'm installing the other screws, and I'm going to go up underneath to do that installation. I'm going to go up underneath in here and install it. Once it comes through and goes through the hand washing side of the sink on the inside, I'm then going to put this lock washer on and the nut. I'm not going to have 2 lock washers on this. This is going to go in, this little bolt is going to go in without a lock washer on, and until it goes through both sides of the sink, I'm not going to install a lock washer. I found it easier, so that's how I'm going to do it. Okay, so I come up inside of here. I find the hole that I made in my 3-compartment sink. I line up the hole on the hand washing sink and I push the bolt through. I put the lock washer on, grab the nut, that one on. Alright, so now I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. Come up, find the hole, push the bolt through to the sink. Washer on. Grab a nut. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to get the 7/16 wrench underneath there and tighten it all down. Alright, so I've tightened it down. Now I'm going to do the back bolts. Alright, so now you come around to the back side here and you tighten down your bolts that you put on, your nuts and your bolts. Now that you've secured the ones on the side, you secure the ones in the back here. You don't have to put it on super tight, you know, just utilize the lock washers. This is easily the hardest part, in my opinion, of the entire sink build. Attaching this sink is the hardest part. So once you've gotten through this part, everything else is super simple in comparison. Alright, we've got it on, nice and firm. It ain't going anywhere, solid. And now we're going to go ahead and install these. Right, these are the elbows that go on the back. These you have to purchase. They don't come with the kit. When you purchase this sink, it comes looking just like this. So you're going to put some plumber's tape on the back here, and then you're going to put these elbows on. All right, so we remembered how to put the plumber's tape on, right? We're going to go clockwise. Alright, so we got our plumber's tape on. Now the next thing we do is we get out our brass elbows and we put them on. Alright, so the whole goal is to get this to aim, these elbows to aim in that direction or that direction kind of down. So you're going to get out your pipe wrench, because pipe wrench is an essential part of this install when it comes to these elbows. There we go. And then the next thing we're going to do, of course, is we're going to install these little devices here. As you can see, it's going to need to come down here so that the hose can come along the back. So I'm going to take my pipe wrench here and bring it down just like so. There we go. Just like the other part of the sink over there, we want these aiming down. And of course, we're going to put our piece of plumber's tape on here. And the reason I'm using these brass fittings with the other brass fittings is because sometimes when you put the plastic on the brass, it tends to leak. So I decided to go ahead and invest the extra money in the brass, because if you're going to get leakage, this is the spot where it's going to happen, where you connect your hose. So once again, we go clockwise with our plumber's tape. Alright, so we're going to tighten this. Going to put this on good and tight using our crescent wrench. There you go. Don't be afraid to lean on it. And you're also going to do the same thing on the back of the other faucet over there. You're going to install those fittings. Right, put those on. So now on both elbows, on the back of the sink, on the 3-compartment sink, and on the back of the hand washing sink over here, you're going to have those elbows coming off, those brass elbows with brass fittings. Okay, and that's on your list of things to get as well. Then you're going to go ahead and connect a hose on here with a hose clamp, and there you have it.